Alright, so just now I had wrote and released a script about bad anime and why I enjoy it and why I think it isn't such a time waster for me personally. Now, the entire video came from an exceedingly personal perspective because where I was coming from was this is my enjoyment of this medium, and I'm going to specifically try and explain my enjoyment of this medium. I'm not necessarily advocating for it, but I am going to explain why I feel this certain way about anime. This is how I interact with anime. It isn't necessarily correct, but this is how I do it, and I'm going to explain why. And I had a feeling that there was probably going to be one point within the video that might be misconstrued or misunderstood that I didn't necessarily feel like explaining within the video itself because it feels kind of tangential and unneeded to be explained. And this is just sort of how I look at the entire issue, is that time is a spectrum. That yes, I enjoy a lot of bad anime, and I enjoy it for the aspects that they present, but there are just going to be some shows that are so fundamentally flawed and have so many things wrong with them that while there may be good aspects that are presented and can be presented or can be found if you look hard enough, I'm just not willing to find those aspects because they take too much work to find, they take too much time to find. Some works are more time-consuming than others, and I can't necessarily watch every single show if I'm just re-watching the Asterisk War over and over again until I like it. That's just not gonna happen. And so, time is a spectrum. There are going to be a lot of shows that I watch, and a lot of shows that I enjoy or try to get into, but there are also going to be a few shows that I just have too many personal issues with for me to give a shit about. Like, the isekai genre is one of those genres where the aesthetic of ReZero and the entire concept of ReZero is something that I've had a difficulty getting into simply because it's an isekai, and I hate the genre of isekai a lot. Or the trapped in a game genre or whatever. It's just something that doesn't really appeal to me that much on an aesthetic basis. Now with ReZero, there's the whole death game element, and so if I were to watch that show, I would probably enjoy it because of that, but I wouldn't necessarily enjoy it because it's an isekai. Like, isekai is just a genre that I inherently kind of hate a lot, and so fantasy shows in general are something that I have trouble getting into, but over time I've tried to get myself into fantasy more, and I've gotten better at enjoying those shows. So it just goes to show that that can be built over time, but I'm not necessarily trying to go out and get way into fantasy shows, because that's just one subgenre of an entire medium of anime. My point in this video is that most of the medium of anime I can enjoy and do enjoy and try my best to enjoy and get the most out of. I don't actively try to hate on things. I don't actively try to hate things. I actively try to enjoy things. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I enjoy everything, even though I have the ability to. So that's my point. When I say time is a spectrum, when I say that anime is a spectrum, what I'm trying to say is that I spend a lot of time on anime, and that I spend a lot of time that I can use to enjoy anime, but I don't necessarily spend all of my time doing it. I don't necessarily enjoy every work to the fullest extent. While it is possible, I just don't have the energy to do that. That's my point.